Hey, Work It Daily YouTubers, it's JT. So listen, this is kind of a strange thing for me to be doing on a Monday in the middle of the day, but we are testing out some crazy new live streaming software that would allow me to stream from all over the place, which is pretty neat. So I thought I would go ahead and go live and see if anyone actually finds it and is able to comment and respond. So if you are seeing this broadcast right now, if you could just comment in the comment section, it will notify me that you are in fact seeing it, and we will know that this is working. And while you're doing that, I thought I would bring up some kind of cool stuff just to mess around with this a little bit. So one of the things that came up today, one of the new things I want to be talking about is an article that we just published over on the Work It Daily site called 3 Ways Your Resume Makes You Look Old. And this is a topic we get all the time in the Work It Daily platform. A lot of people don't realize that their resume is actually aging them. And in this particular article, we talk about some of the common things people are still doing on their resume that is revealing the fact that they are using old school techniques, and as a result, probably are an older worker. So why does this matter? Well, you know, we've got a lot of age discrimination going on. I always tell people it's experience discrimination, but it is what it is. And we need to be able to fight back against that. You know, having a resume that looks current sends a message to a recruiter and to an employer that you are staying up to date on the latest trends, that you understand personal branding, also known as reputation management, and that you care enough about yourself to make sure that you're sending the right message. So it is really important that your resume be updated. For those of you that haven't updated your resume, even in the last year, you're probably going to want to take a look because the techniques have really changed. In fact, when people join the Work It Daily platform, one of the first things they do is have their resume reviewed by one of our career specialists. And it's pretty interesting because you send in a PDF of your resume, and what we do is we turn on a video camera and we talk you through what's wrong. And I would say one of the biggest mistakes people are making right now is they don't understand the concept of white space. We're always talking to people about the fact they've got way too much on their resume. They've got too much font, too much fancy, too much text. If you're trying to shove everything you've ever done in your whole life on your resume, it's sending the wrong message. First of all, it makes you look desperate. It also makes you look pretty self-important, like you think you're all that. But most importantly, it's too much to read. Recruiters are skimmers and they just won't read it all. And even worse, when you put that much on a resume, if they don't see the very one thing they need, they're going to assume you don't have it because they're going to think, well, they put everything else on this dang resume. They probably got that. They don't have what we need. So you really have to be thinking about that a lot. You have to be thinking about paring down your resume. Think of your resume as a marketing piece for your business of one. So you want to have what we call teaser copy. You want to tease the reader into wanting to contact you for more information. And that's a really great way for you to know if you've got your resume set up right. If somebody is calling you and saying, yeah, we saw your resume, but we need more information, ding, 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 you're absolutely doing it right. That's the sign that you've got this down pat. So, you know, don't take it lightly. Think about your resume. It's the font, the formatting, the content, and most importantly, the white space so that it's creating that image, it's creating that teaser effect that we're talking about here. So go over and check that out. I will definitely put the link if I can. Let me see if I can pull this off with this new technology. Can I actually copy the link and get it in here for you all? But this is a really great article that our team put together that's going to at least get you thinking about it. There's some great video resources in there as well. So it looks like I see some people in here. So let me just give some shout outs to MJ, Devronica, Erica, Donyetta, Alexis. Who else do we have on here? Lots of people on here. Hey, I'm glad you guys can see me. Do you have any questions for me? I'll probably stay on here for a minute or two just to see how the interaction part of it works, if y'all don't mind. So if you do have a question for me, especially if it's about resumes, I would love to answer that today. But if it's not about resumes, if you want me to talk about something else, that's okay too. I can talk about something career related, be happy to help you. And also just get a sense of what do you all think about this concept of live streaming. Is it something you'd want to see on a regular basis? You know, we've always tried to live stream once a week and do something, but never really wrapped my head around, you know, is live streaming something people want to see every day? They want to tune in like a show or what? So if you've got any thoughts around that, I would love to hear them as well. Otherwise, I won't stay on too long. I mean, if nobody wants to ask me any questions, then I'm just going to have to hit the road. But if you do have questions, it would be great to chat with you all. I'm going to come back up on the screen here. Yeah, I'm pretty psyched with this technology. For those of you that have never used it, it's called StreamYard, StreamYard, StreamYard. I was pretty impressed. You don't have to download any fancy applications. You simply log in on the internet and you're able to set this all up. It was pretty straightforward for us, so psyched about that for sure. Thanks, Adam. Glad you like it. And Zayad, shout out to Zayad. Thanks for stopping by. Again, if you've got a question, I know there's a little bit of a delay. So if you have a question, don't be shy. Pop it in here and let me see if I can answer it for you today. Would love to do that for each and every one of you. And also, again, looking for feedback on live streaming. Yes, no, once a week, once a month, once a day. What do you think? Oh, thank you, MJ. So MJ says, I think it's a great way to interact with your base. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. And I see some questions. All right, let's start with Toya's question. Toya says, should you put the year you received your degree? I had one person say take it off and another said put it back on. That's so funny. You know what, Toya, that's one of those little things that doesn't make a huge difference. As far as if we're talking about this topic today, if you got your degree 20 years ago, well, yeah, then you're blatantly calling out that, you know, you're a Gen Xer like myself, a boomer, but you don't have to have it on there anymore. I mean, they're going to look at your work history candidly, Toya, and do the math and say, okay, well, Toya's been working 20, 25 years now, so obviously she got her degree way back when. Sometimes people like to put it on there if, let's say you worked for 10 or 15 years, then you got your degree, so your degree is recent in the last 5 years or so. Some people like to add it then just to show that they actually went ahead and got their degree later on. But it's usually not a big deal. I will tell you, if you're less than 5 years out of college, right? If you're new, it can be good to put it on there to show them how recent you are, that you're a recent grad. But I would say after 5 years, you can drop the number. It really doesn't matter. They're looking at your work history. They want to know you have the degree, that's for sure. But aside from that, they're really looking at the journey that you've taken in that time, just so you know. All right, so totally your call. Don't have to have it on there. Okay, Rosa says, I use USA Jobs federal resume template. How do you feel about that? Well, I mean, if you're going after a federal job, Rosa, I know that they specialize in that and they like to help people navigate the federal job process. If you're not going for just a federal job, though, I wouldn't advise it. Not at all. You want to be looking for a far more updated format, right? And so some key things, like I said, as you'll read in this article, you know, get rid of your objective statement, simplify it down. The most critical information is in what we call the top fold of the resume. So you want to be able to have your headline, your key skill sets, all the relevant data that recruiters look for in the first pass when they're pulling people from the applicant tracking system. So it's the key requirements usually. If you don't have that front and center, then you're probably not going to be considered. So you have to have that format. That's why we stress that so much at Worky Daily. But again, if you're not doing a federal job, then I would not use a federal resume format because it's a very unique format and it doesn't work for civilian type roles. Okay, awesome. Great question. Oh, and Zayed says, I follow your tips on LinkedIn. Thank you. I'm so glad you're doing that. Look, folks, if you didn't know this, I am in 2020 trying to help 1 million people on LinkedIn grow their careers. And I'm doing that via their newsletter platform. So they just brought back this newsletter platform and I'm writing on it twice a week. So it comes right to your email inbox. So if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, go over there. I'm dropping new content twice a week to help you grow your career. My goal is to get to 1 million people subscribed to the newsletter and really help, you know, just make LinkedIn more productive again. I feel like a lot of people aren't using it the way it was intended and it's changed a ton. I mean, LinkedIn is essentially the yellow pages these days, if you even know what those are, those old phone books we used to have. It's a very different platform. People are not naturally engaging. They're not naturally networking anymore because it's too big. There's 660 million people on there and counting. So it's a very different animal. And that's what I'm trying to tackle in that newsletter series. So if you're somebody that's been on LinkedIn, not really sure what you're supposed to be doing with it, go sign up for my newsletter. It's free. It'll come to you via your email inbox and we can work together on that in 2020, okay? Let's see. Oh, Adam, I love that question. Let's go back to Adam's question. Do I put my school but I didn't graduate? You know what, Adam, here's what I have people do. If you went to school and you amass some hours, maybe you went for a couple of years, that's significant and employers do want to know that. So go ahead and put that you went to the school and what the major is, and after it, in parentheses, put X number of credits. And they'll know what that means is, or X number of credit hours, however it was scored at your school. They'll then understand that you didn't complete the degree, but you invested quite a bit in it. And the one thing I would tell you is that's going to go under the category of additional experience. You're not going to have a separate area called education because that's really only if you've graduated. But you can put that under the additional experience section, just so you know. And yeah, I would definitely add it. Let's see. Do I put my, yep, let's see. We've got Donetta says, work history is all over the place. Military spouse. How do you suggest I convey that? That's a great question. So Donetta, I hope I'm saying that right. So we work with a lot of military spouses, and the more important thing for you is what we call a disruptive cover letter or an introduction letter, because to your point, you're going to have this kind of, you know, unique resume. You're going to have these spots and different locations, and they're going to be thinking, well, who is this person jumping all around, not understanding that you're a military spouse. So it's the disruptive cover letter or the introduction letter that tells the story of what it's like to be a military spouse, and what it's taught you about work, and you know why you're passionate about working, and that sort of thing. So there has to be, you end up telling a story to help the recruiter and the employer connect with you. That's really important that they connect with you. So that's a technique that we teach inside Work It Daily as well. And then we show you how to actually reach out to the employers as opposed to just applying online. Because I'll tell you, one of the things, and it stinks, and I know it, is that somebody like you, when you apply online, probably about 97% of the time is being tossed by the applicant tracking system, or the applicant tossing system, as we call it, because you're not meeting the online criteria. So humans aren't even seeing it. So if there's a job you really want or you're interested in, you've got to get yourself around that ATS. And so one of the ways to do that would be to connect through LinkedIn with the recruiter, and then send this introduction letter that we're talking about that really tells the story, that helps them understand. Even better is if you can network and connect and get somebody who knows somebody to introduce you. But if not, this cover letter can kind of replace the fact that you don't have a direct network connection. So that's a technique that we teach you all in there for sure, over at our Work It Daily. And for those of you, I think most of you know who we are and what we do, but I'm the founder of Work It Daily, and we are the #1 online career growth club. So for people who want to level up in their career game, whether they're just getting a promotion, looking for a new job, trying to make something happen, we're a private club. We pick up where LinkedIn leaves off. And so if you're interested, you can go over to the website and sign up and work directly with myself and the team of career coaches. We look at your resume. We tell you what's wrong. We look at your LinkedIn profile. We'll help you with the cover letter. We have tutorials for all those things, but you also submit them to us. We look at them, and then we video record and tell you what's wrong with them and send it back so that you can really absorb it and make everything good and proper. And then you can work on whatever you're working on with this amazing community of professionals, because you know the people that invest in joining us they're driven and they're committed and they're all in. We call them players, because you know if you join Work It Daily, you're a player and you want to up your game. And so if you're looking for that kind of motivation, definitely check it out. Again, especially if you have military spouses and other individuals, if you're just kind of stuck with something, you're not getting the traction you're looking for, this is the kind of thing that will really make a difference. I always tell people, you know, you're a business of one. I tell you all that all the time. But you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You don't have to be in business by yourself when it comes to your career growth. A lot of us don't have mentors. It can be difficult to ask people to mentor us, especially if we're asking them to do it for free. So imagine a service where you can go and have mentors like me working with you 24/7. The other cool thing, and I don't have it here, I do have it here with me, is when you sign up with us, we have our very own phone app. We're the only career coaching company in the world with their own phone app. So we're literally in your back pocket. We can work with you at any time. All right, so enough about that. Let's go answer some more questions. You guys are awesome. Gal says, how to handle the interaction with the interviewer if she is very slow, spending much time on side stories while the clock is ticking away, and my opportunity to raise the level of conversation. Oh, that's so funny. That's a great question, Gal. So what do you do when your interviewer is all over the map? That's basically what you're asking, right? So when your interviewer is all over the map, you have to be careful not to show your frustration. So if you at any point in time try to too directly bring the conversation back, or even say, hey, I know we don't have a lot of time here, are there some things else I can answer for you? That's going to upset them, because you're going to call out the fact that they probably know that they're nervous and they're all over the map and they're not really a good interviewer, and you pointing it out is going to be the kiss of death. So can't do that. Not an option. Not possible. We can't do what we instinctually want to do. What you can do is that when the person finally asks you a question, don't give a short one-word answer, right? Don't expand yourself. Take over the conversation Instead of just giving a one-sentence answer or one-word answer, tell a story to back up what you're talking about. Explain it in greater detail, right? And then, if possible, and this takes a little practice for sure, you want to ask a question about the job at the end of your answer. So, let's say the person finally got to the point of saying, tell me about your experience with this. So you go into it, you explain it, here's a story, and say, yeah, now tell me how you believe this job is going to utilize or leverage that particular expertise. See what I'm saying? So ask a question back. By asking a question back to the interviewer that is job related, you're going to help keep them on track without having to call it out. Does that make sense? That's the way to do it. So give more expansive answers and then ask a question about the job at the end of your answer to keep them on track. All right, simple tip. Totally works, gal. I promise you. Let me know how it goes, okay? Okay. And Music Man says, is it okay to put a little design on your resume? Yeah, no. To be honest with you, it's not. You do not want to do that. First of all, the online applicant tracking systems can't process those things and can actually get your resume tossed. Secondly, resumes are about the facts. Now, if you are a creative type, you're going to have a portfolio. That's where design and things like that are going to come into play. Otherwise, resume, hate to say it, it's a document meant to be skimmed efficiently. And so you want to have it all in the right way, in the right layout in order for that to happen. And second question was, is it okay to put interest on your resume? I heard that it's okay to put it on the top. No, it's not okay. So the question is, do I put what I'm interested in, what kind of job I'm looking for? No. Think about this. We live in an online world. You're applying to a job. That's the job you're interested in. Don't want to talk about your interests. All you want to do in the resume is give them the facts. Where you want to bring some of your personality into it, it can be in the disruptive cover letter. But again, this isn't about you. This is about them. They're the customer. You need to be thinking about, how do I show them I feel deeply connected to them? How do I show them that I admire what they do, their products, their services, the customers that they serve, the approach they take, their beliefs? How am I part of their tribe? How do I self-identify with this organization? Because you hear corporate culture all the time. Are you a culture fit? Do you fit our organization? Well, the way you prove that is by showing them the things that are drawing you to the organization. And that comes out in that disruptive cover letter, which is a really, really cool format that we teach. It's probably one of the most disruptive, and hence the term disruptive cover letter, but one of the most innovative techniques in job search today that gets people interviews left and right that most people don't know how to do. And in this case, that's what you need to do. But it's not about you. It's not about your interests. So I'm glad you asked that question, because there's a lot of people out there, and it frustrates me. There's a lot of people out there that didn't spend a decade in staffing and recruiting like I did, that didn't specialize in it before I became a career coach for 15 years. I work with recruiters every day, so I know what they're looking for. And I get really frustrated because there's a lot of rogue advice out there right now. People are getting a little creative in their advice for job seekers, and it just scares me because recruiters are a finicky group. They want things the way they want them. So you really want to color inside the lines there and know how to attract their attention. So I'm glad you asked that question. Let's see. Should a college degree or major be on for a position be on the resume when it isn't remotely related to the position being applied for? So if it's a bachelor's degree, then you want to list it. You could probably take off what your major is if you're worried about that. But I think it's most of the time they're just looking to see, do you have the degree that they're asking for a degree? A lot of people have degrees that aren't even remotely related to what they do today, so that's a non-issue. If it's some kind of certification or something really unique and it's not relevant, then I wouldn't put it in the top fold. I would put it in the additional experience section. So I wouldn't hide it. I just wouldn't overemphasize it. And again, this would be a great opportunity. If you were inside the Work It Daily platform, we would kind of walk it through and show you where to put that. This is the thing that people get hung up on. And again, I cannot stress it enough, folks. Head on over to Work It Daily. If you haven't tried us out yet, you should try us out. You can log in, you can give our members your resume, and they can answer questions like this and help you revamp it. So for sure. What if you went to school for something you don't think is right for you? Other kinds of jobs. You don't know what to do next. Oh, Nicole, you're not alone. The average person is going to have over 10 careers in their lifetime, and 9 of those are going to have nothing to do with the degree that they got. So you're not alone. Companies understand that. But when you do realize you want to do something different, the first step is to start to build your network in the areas that you're interested in. So I don't know if you've done any career discovery, but that's pretty important. Inside Work It Daily, we have something called the Professional Strengths Assessment. It's an actual course you take where you complete 7 different assessments. And then you start to look at your career interests and how they tie to them so that we can narrow it in, so that then you can start to strategically network with people who are in industries and careers that you're thinking about transitioning to. That is the best way to do this. Otherwise, who knows, right? I always tell people that picking a career these days, it's like going into the ice cream parlor and there's 365 flavors on the wall. And the only 2 you've ever had are chocolate and vanilla, maybe strawberry. So you're sitting there going, well, I like blueberry lavender crunch. Will I like, chocolate peanut butter or cashew swirl? You don't know, right? Well, careers are no different. So you have to be able to talk to somebody who has actually tasted those flavors. And that's why you do informational interviewing. But, you don't want to do 365 of those. So assessment's going to help you narrow that in first. And it's going to show you, hey, I'm probably a good fit for, say, 5 types of careers. And then informational interviewing is going to help you find the right one. All right. So hopefully that helps. Liz says, should I get a college degree or a training certificate? Because I hear people say training certificates is better because it's hands-on. Ooh, Liz, that's a loaded question. That really depends on whether or not you, what you're going for, right? So for example, these days, lots of people are skipping college and going to coding school, and coding school is a certificate. It's not a degree. Totally makes sense. It's a lot cheaper, gets you working faster, and you're making more money. You have to do your homework. If you are thinking about getting a training certificate instead, please talk to at least 10 people that have that training certificate and hear about their career path post-certificate. Same thing goes for college. Like, nobody should be investing in higher education until they understand the ROI. And that is one of the biggest problems we have right now, especially in the US, where we just push education, 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 and college debt on everybody. So certificates and trainings could be a much cheaper way to go, but little asterisk there, you've got to make sure that what you're going to get into afterwards is actually going to work for you. Talk to alumni of the training certificate program. Talk to the Career Center. What's their placement rate? Make sure that money spent is going to be good money spent. Okay? All right. Doomed. My last 6 months was unemployed, and 18 months before that in retail. 8 years before that, mixed bag, admin, policy, strategy, research. Now I want to return to the field. Hey, listen, if you want to return to the field, you can return to the field. Is it going to be, one resume out there and you're going to land your dream job? No. But if you want it, you can do it. So my first step to you is to say you need a mantra, right? You need every day, you need to get up, and every time the doubt creeps in your head, you've got to fight back loudly with that mantra. And then you got to take action. You got to get out there. You got to talk honestly with people. You got to own it. You got to go sit down with people in the field and say, I own it. I was doing this stuff. I got off track. Now I'm back on track. What do you think it's going to take for me to do it? Own it and get in there and make it happen. Now I say that, and most people won't do it. They just don't want to do the tough stuff. I saw something really cool the other day. Mel Robbins, I don't know if you know who she is, but she was talking about this. She was challenging somebody who called her the motivation queen. And she said, I'm not the motivation queen because people think they have to wait around until they feel motivated. We're never going to feel motivated to do the stuff we need to do, folks. If we did, we'd all do it, especially when it comes to challenges in job search and career pivots and all that. We got to get out of our comfort zone. We got to do the ugly stuff. We got to talk to people. But something sparks, something clicks. And once you get in that zone, once you get that mojo going, you're going to get results. So my advice to you is own it. I love that you put it out here. That was the first step. You owned it by saying what happened right here, and nothing bad happened. Look, somebody responded to you and said, here's what you need to do. Now go do it. Go talk to people. Tell them you want to get back into the field. Ask them what it's going to take to make it happen, and then do it. I promise you, you'll get results. Okay? Awesome. Okay, Mocha Boy says, how do I negotiate a higher salary as I'm going to be converted from temp to full-time position? 3 months ago, I signed up for Work It Daily and followed their methods. Yay, you got this job. Yes, okay, shout out. Shout out for Work It Daily. See, people? See, this is how it works. Okay, so conversion. So first of all, you want to sit down and do your homework, find out what the going rate is for a job like this, going full-time. Let's see first what they offer you, because they may offer you the same rate they've been paying, but understand they've been paying a percentage of your salary to the temp agency. So they're not going to have to pay that anymore. So you also have got skills and training and proven yourself. So I would sit down with them and first get the offer, because maybe they'll give you a bump before you even ask. If they don't, if they give you the same rate, say, I'm really excited about this opportunity. I can't wait to come work for you. So by saying that, I'm excited and I can't wait to come work for you, they know you're planning to take the job. So that's going to immediately reduce everyone's stress in the room. Okay. And then you're going to say, this is really hard for me, but I was hoping to make X. I took this job in a temporary capacity to prove myself. I wanted to exceed your expectations and show you that I could do this job full time. I'm so excited you've chosen me. That said, in order to live, I would really like to make this amount. And I was wondering if you might be if that might be possible, if that could be my starting salary. Worst they can say is no. And if they do say no, you're going to say, okay, then I get it and I still want the job, but can we talk about what I would need to do in the next 6 months, for example, in order to make that happen? What could I do in the next 6 months to make sure that I could actually get this higher rate? And that way they understand you're career minded and you are in fact looking for this additional income. It's very polite, it's very positive. You're saying, look, what else do I have to do? I'm going to earn it. I'm going to make sure that you are getting the return on the investment, but what do I need to do? But that's it. You just want to say, I took the temp job because I wanted to prove myself and I'm so excited to work for you, but I was hoping to make more money. I really need X. And if they say no, then okay, but what will I need to do to make X? That's it. Open and honest conversation, folks. We get so worked up about salary negotiations. We don't have to. It's just two people talking it through, trying to get to a place where it works for both parties, right? Okay. Very, very good. Let's see. It says, are you suggesting we go after more junior role and work our way up? Yeah, well, it depends. If you are trying to pivot into a new career, or if you're trying to prove yourself in an organization, it really can be in your best interest to take a lower job and knock it out of the park. Just crush it. Because anytime we're sitting in a position where we are so in demand and we're crushing it in a job, the company doesn't want to lose you. Then you sit in a position of power to go to them and say, all right, I love this job. I'm doing more than we talked about. I would like a bigger role. I'd also like to earn more money. What does that look like? How do we get there? Right? So you always want to partner with your employer and talk about your goals and how you want to get there, but also what you're going to give them in return. So when we have that two-way street going, salary negotiation and career planning is much easier in an organization. For some strange reason, people don't do it. I think it's because school teaches you everything except how to do these things, which is why we built Work It Daily. Work It Daily is essentially school. We're tutoring you in how to do all of this so that you can get much more comfortable with it. But yeah, I think that in a lot of times it's better to go for the junior role. Here's another example. Sometimes people will come to me inside Work It Daily and say, JT, this company that I want to work for, bucket list company, has a junior level job and a senior level, and I'm probably somewhere in the middle. Which one should I apply to? Always, always, always the junior. You always want to be the overqualified person. You will never get picked if you're the underqualified person. So, and the best part about it is I've had so many people do that, get in there and they're like, wow, we actually think you'd probably be better in the more senior role. And then really? Okay then. I wasn't sure which one to pick, but I knew that I definitely could do your junior role. Just a sign of respect and self-awareness. So that's another little tip there for you all. Okay. All right, what do you think, folks? Well, this was really fun. Thank you so much for stopping by today with me. Listen, just a reminder, I posted it. Go check out today's Work It Daily article. 3 ways your resume can be making you look old. Very hot topic, very important topic. You will learn a lot from that as well. If you're interested in being career coached, if you want to become a player, and we got thousands of them inside Work It Daily, and they're awesome, and they're all working with our coaching team and myself. Give us a try. It is affordable, and you are going to get great results. We already heard it today, right? We already had somebody today talking about it, so proof is right there. And then, of course, as I mentioned, also be sure to go follow me on LinkedIn, the new LinkedIn newsletter series. I'm going to be streaming over there as well. Not sure how. They've given me some streaming capacity, so I may go pop around and do this as well. But we'll see. I might do this a lot more now that this platform is here. It's pretty cool. I'm really liking it. So thanks, everyone. I'm glad you stopped by. And who knows when I'll pop on here again. All right? All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.